We want to make it physically demanding. Up! And we want to make it academically demanding.
600 feet!
There are times and moments where you're very, very uncomfortable and you don't know what to do. We put them in failure for the first 3 or 4 weeks where they just don't feel like they can do anything right. And then all of a sudden one day they realize that they can do hard things, and then they start doing hard things, and then off we go, right?
Go!
And so we're looking for those folks who want to do amazing and phenomenal things, and they can get into their head and say, yes, this is what I want to do for 25 years, and I'm going to do it at a high level, and I'm going to be very, very professional about it with a smile on my face. If you don't get out of your car every morning when you walk into the fire station and open the door and just be excited about what's going to go on for that next 48 hours, then this is probably not the job for you.
We don't do anything in this job alone. Too slow! Move, move, move! Come on, 5-6, let's go! Some of you might be asking yourself, what does it take to do this job? 200% is what you need to give in this job.
Our job is to protect the public. Our job is to go do the right job for them.
Well, we're going to start it off by welcoming you. You are Camp 5-6. You're going to be the only Camp 5-6. And this is the first day of the next 4 months of your life. You are now a part of Unified Fire Authority, and there is a certain way we do things, and you will learn that way. But to get there, we got to work on a few things within this recruit camp for the next 4 months. They're written on the ground, right around you, right? We need to start with making you faster and stronger and smarter. Mr. Garrett, Mr. Hardman, they're all yours. Let's get faster, stronger, and smarter this morning.
Get up the tower, let's go. Go, move, 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 move.
Get up those stairs, let's go! Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on!
4, 5, go, down the
Move, let's go!
10, 9, 8, 7.
You want to do this job, dig deep, you can do it. Got it all. Oh, we're getting strong now. No, we're getting strong now.
Right, race. As you navigate the next 16 weeks of camp, I need you to focus on something, and it's going to be the mission, but it's going to be the people always around you. You need to show up every day ready to learn, ready to apply what is taught to you, but you need to take care of those people around you. Every day, that's your job. Show up, do what is asked of you, learn to the best of your abilities. Don't leave anything in the tank every day, give it all, but I need you to take care of the people around you. I'm going to present you a guide-on, which is a flag representative of what you have here, your teamwork, to somebody, and you're going to carry that through camp. Upon graduation, you're going to present that back to me so I can continue to present that to others that pursue this mission. So with that said, I'm going to present this guide-on to Class 5-6. And you guys are going to bring this back to me at the end of camp after you've learned all that you can in the 16 weeks, after you've applied all those lessons on the training ground and you get ready to serve your community and the citizens of this county and Utah County and wherever you were called. I'm fortunate enough to be here at the Unified Fire Authority Fire Training Center and to watch 30 plus recruits come in at a time and go through a 16-week program. Come in by week 8, they're not even the same humans in many ways. They're better, they're smarter, they're more capable.
1, 2, 3.
For me, the passion is watching these folks grow. They come in here not knowing much, maybe have from a different department, or whether that's coming from paid call, or not knowing about the fire service at all. For me, it's watching them grow and grab this career and really love it like I love it, and how passionate I am that we are really, really good at this. And to see them grow and transition into the firefighters they become is very, very rewarding for me. We have a lot to cover in the 16 weeks that we cover, right? There are things that they need to have in this job so that they can work in operations, you know, whether that be an ADO certification, a hazmat operations and awareness certification, firefighter 1, 2, but to bring them out here for 16 weeks and teach them being clean slates, not knowing any of that, is pretty impressive to what they know leaving here.
Only way you're going to get better is if you put the effort in. This is for you. This workout is for you. Whatever effort you put into it is what you're going to get out of it.
There is a DNA strand inside somebody that's able to do this job. That stuff where you can persevere through that physical pain, thinking to yourself, nope, this is too hard. It's not, right? You can push past that in your mind and you can do amazing things.
Coming out.
I think is what we're showing these recruits out here too. They come out here thinking they're not strong enough, they're not fast enough, they're not smart enough, and if they just put the time in and stick with the program, they are, and they will amaze themselves.
When we're doing these drills, you are ready when your hands are at the back of your head like this. Ready? Go!
It's a really brief moment that they get exposed to this stuff just alone by learning PPE and SCBA. Those are the things that keep us alive, right, in our fires and allow us to go deep into a structure, and life safety being our #1 priority, absolutely. So when we teach them those things, we do go to the basics with PPE. We do go to the basics with our SCBAs. We want them to be able to understand this stuff with their senses, their feel, their touch, their see, their hear, that they know how it works. I get it. We've got Bluetooth on them, we've got all this stuff, but what it comes down to is they still need to know how to function this equipment if it doesn't work, right? It's the reason we don't give them flashlights for the first 6 weeks, right? We want them to be able to use their senses there and not depend on those things, because when they fail, what do? We'll give them that stuff after they've learned how to use their senses. The one thing about it is everybody should understand, it's like anything else. If you don't practice, they're very, very perishable skills unless you constantly train and keep your hands on them to be good at them.
Follow that hog line.
All right, so day 3 of week 1, this recruit camp that's called Mazed and Confused is really the first time that these recruits are in their full protective equipment ensemble, and we put them in our confined space maze.
You gotta use all your senses, okay? You gotta be feeling around. What are you hung up on? What's the obstacle feel like in front of you? How do I need to position myself once I get inside? All right?
It's meant to be a confidence booster for them. They're definitely out of their element. There's a lot of shock and awe to week 1 of recruit camp here at Unified Fire Authority. We want to make sure that these recruits are where they really say they want to be.
Get your heels underneath you.
So with the physical activity, the grinder of just the hours of the day, and we get them into a tight spot, so to speak, in the confined space box.
Take one step to your left, hands and knees. Find that wall to the right. Slide it down. Okay, go. Follow that hose line.
Don't let go of that hose, Green.
A lot of people deal with being claustrophobic. You can't see, and it's not to test them, it's to train them. We have all members of the Cadre are going to be in different obstacles within inside the space.
Catch your breath. Think about what's going on. Use your senses. What's that hose doing?
Strong work. As you're crawling, following that hose line, make sure you're feeling the floor and sounding out in front of you.
As these recruits maneuver their way through the confined space maze, they may lose or lack the confidence to be able to get themselves through whatever obstacles ahead of them.
You're swinging up and you're pushing against the wall. That's why you're not going anywhere. You need to keep your torso the way that it is. You pull up a little bit and you get your heels underneath you a little bit. Bend at the waist, push out of that closet with your feet. Come on, kid. Move. Atta girl. Nice. Good job, Mac.
And we're in there to coach and teach and show that they absolutely can do it. And a lot of it at that point in time in that day when they're just physically exhausted, they've got to switch gears and use their mental capacity to drive them through the confined space box.
Nice work, Jones.
Good job. Good job. Good job.
Thank you, sir.
It's a good day for them. It is a really long day for everybody. It's a good 16 to 17 hour day. So week 1, it definitely separates the people who really want to be here from the ones that maybe learn that they're not too sure about it. Week 2, we do a drill called the construction burn. So we build 2 different tables, and then we just put them up about 4 feet, just on 4x4s, just make a table out of it. So it's to show them the construction of what a conventional home, more old style 1960s, 70s. The other one that we build that we put right next to it is all the engineered I-beam floor joists, so the TJIs, which is just a 2x2. This is also the first time for the recruits to be in an IDLH. We're not in there to attack the fire, they're in there to observe the environment, feel the heat, watch the fire as it grows. And we put 50 to 80 pounds of weight on both of the tables on top of them as they're burning. And then just through a short amount of time, being able to see which one of the same fuel package underneath, just different materials, and get to see which of the floor joist props fail first.
A lot of things we got to think about and a lot of stuff we're going to learn. It's not just about jumping off, pulling a hose line, and fighting fire. You have got to be smart at this job now. You have to. You've got to think on your feet, right? As those feet are moving, your brain has got to be slowing down. So I'm going to tell you, you're going to hear me. Slow, right? From the neck up. Everything else can move fast, but this has got to be thinking.
All right, so week 2 of this recruit camp, I think that if we could put a term to it, it would be hose appreciation week. And out here, a lot of the first few weeks, it's a lot of things. I mean, it's the first time they've ever gotten their hands on the fire apparatus, on the attack lines, and all things that we use to put the fires out that we've been called to. As the first line goes, so does the rest of the fire. There's a saying that's used in the fire service, and it's definitely what we bring to the party that solves the problem. And so they need to be fast and efficient with how they utilize these attack lines, and they need to know what it is that they're handling. We start off with hose management, which means the deployment aspect of it, from the apparatus to the structure itself, any obstacles that may be in the way, fences, any type of lawn furniture, getting to the access, the front door, back door, side doors, how we want to access the structure. And then once we get inside, being able to maneuver that heavy attack line throughout the space and get from point A to B, which is the seat of the fire. So we have a day where we call it Endless Hose Day, and it's one thing about having these recruit camps in the winter out here in Magna, Utah. It's cold, they're tired, and they literally take off every inch of hose off of every apparatus numerous times until we think it's efficient enough for them to go home.
One on.
Coupling! Coupling over my right shoulder, 100.
3 on my side.
Coupling!
So the end of the night, we're cold, we're frozen, the equipment's frozen, it's dark, it's another 15, 16 hour day, and they're working hard. They definitely want to be here at this point. They wouldn't be putting themselves through the stuff that they've been putting themselves through if they didn't want to be here. And you know, every once in a while it gives us a little bit of an opportunity to mess with them just a little bit.
You guys want to be here?
Yes, sir!
You sure?
Yes, sir!
What are we supposed to pay attention to?
Detail, sir!
So not only do you got to do that again, but you have to pay extra special attention to detail to find out where those gaskets came from. You want to go home tonight?
Yes, sir!
Well, it's 8:30 and that took you an hour and a half. Now you got that to deal with. You sure you want to be here?
Yes, sir!
Good. Now do your chores. Put those back in the hose shed where I found them.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's go, full out! Yes, sir!
It was a good day overall. We figured that it was about, we did the math, and it was somewhere around 16,000 feet of hose came off of the apparatus in a 10-hour period, and back on.
Ladder coming through. Ladder coming up.
All firefighters are expected to be able to operate with ground ladders. In the fire service, just as a firefighter, we have a unique opportunity and a unique responsibility to be able to respond to those calls where get a ladder to a certain balcony or a window faster. Those seconds matter.
You're holding it locked just like it is here. Lock it off, come down.
So what we do here out in the recruit camp is to make sure that all firefighters are able to throw those roof ladders, extension ladders, and use those ground ladders, be able to be competent in the skill and be able to size up a structure, whether it's a residential structure, commercial structure, knowing exactly what a second story window, the height that it is, and the requirement of a ladder that it takes to get to that point.
Couple more clips.
We have our recruits constantly getting their hands on those ground ladders. We have skills and evolutions that we're constantly expecting them to be able to get comfortable placing ladders to balconies, to windows for rescue, for fire operations, and we expect them to be able to do that at this point. It's not an easy skill for everyone. People that are taller and stronger have an easier capability of doing these ladders. So we teach different ways of doing the same skill. There's not only one way to do something. We just want people to be efficient at it, understand what they're doing, be able to size up structures so that they know which ladder to grab right away and how many rungs to extend them to get that to the proper climbing length to effect a rescue right away or to do firefighting operations. In this recruit camp, the recruits have an opportunity to climb some of our aerial ladders from our fleet. We have 100-foot aerial ladders that we expose these recruits to. Questions?
No, sir.
All right. Talk to you when we get the top.
I'm clipped in now, sir.
With an aerial ladder, you have to be able to climb them and be comfortable climbing them. There's a lot of different types of things that are unique to those ladders, the type of an angle that you're climbing, you're carrying tools with you, the environment, the wind, when you're at the tip and it's fully extended and you have all your gear on, every little movement, you feel that movement in the ladder. So our goal is to get them introduced to those aerial ladders out here and to get them comfortable climbing at certain angles and at certain heights and lengths that those are extended to.
We're going to explain basic principles today on fire dynamics, fire science, fire behavior. All right, so week 3 here out at Unified Fire Authority's recruit camp is all things fire dynamics. So it used to be called fire behavior. We definitely mesh in building construction in our theater of fire with the fire dynamics. And what that means is just what we can expect out of our fuel packaging and fire behavior within a compartment and how we affect that and how we need to change the environment. The fuels that we're dealing with now, there's plenty of it and they're giving off so much energy that it's spreading so quick that it's using this up quicker. So the fires of today are vent limited fires. So we spend a lot of time in the classroom talking about a lot of the science behind what's going on. And then we have a few props out here on our grounds that we can utilize to get these recruits into an IDLH, and they can see some of the more dramatic fire dynamics and fire behavior and the more dangerous atmospheres that we need to be aware of. That way we know how to control it and how to make it go away.
It's going to take a little bit to get everything heated up. So it reaches the point of flashover. So be patient. We're going to be in there for a little bit till we can get the conditions to where what I want you guys to see. Okay, we've done a full check. Everybody's good. Yes, sir.
So we have the flashover prop out here on the grounds. It's a great opportunity for these recruits to be on a lower grade level within this prop that we have. We build a fire compartment out with just Class A combustibles. And as this compartment heats up, you know, the fire starts, it grows, it heats up. Everything in that room is going to start to give off some flammable vapor. It's all going to be above our heads. And with controlling some of the openings that we have with just a small opening, 3, 6, 12 inches, we can basically get that room to instantaneously ignite all at once. And these recruits are going to just be surrounded with flaming combustion.
Ooh, that's so pretty. We're half on the vent strip. See how I'm standing the opening? Nice. Drifting, Newman, can you see that? Okay. Who's across from me right now? Okay, you got a good eye on that.
We do have attack lines in there to be able to control the space, but we actually show them that we can control that flaming combustion and make it go away, decrease the temperatures with just shutting the doors. So that's what we call a vent limited state. The fire is consuming so much oxygen inside of a space that it actually snuffs itself out once the oxygen gets to about 16.5%. So, and we're able to do this with the bottles on our back. Usually lasts us around a half an hour, and we usually get anywhere from 6 to 8 flash events with the fuel loading that we have in this prop. So it's a good opportunity for them to get an IDLH again and really learn about all the different fire phenomena that we talk about in the lecture for fire dynamics. When we start working on air management, and it's any type of air emergency or interruption of air. So So there's a drill, they work out in their gear, get their heart rates up, and once they get to a certain point, I believe it's 500 PSI in their bottles, we pull them aside, they lay down, they get into what we call a recovery position so they can get their hands on the controls of their pack in case something happens.
Bang on your regulator, make sure it's locked in, crack your bypass. If that doesn't work, you're gonna reach back and turn a bottle on. Find that bottle, reach back and find that.
We have a bypass valve on our mask. All your connections there, your regulator and your hoses right there, your remote pressure gauges on your right side. You can get that to your mask so you can see your analog gauge, you can see the digital gauge. You can activate your pass device. Your cylinder valve also is that's on your right side. So it does a couple things. It shows when you're working hard how fast you can use all that air up in that bottle. And then when you only have 500 PSI left, if you control your breathing, you calm yourself down, you can make 500 PSI last a long time.
Not enough air for the machine to kind of register how much is in there. But you're going to be surprised at how much longer you can go even though this isn't registering it, all right? So when you start running out of air, like when you see, you still have like that sliver almost. So that's just what the machine's doing, but you still got air, all right?
This is something that they get used to. They're controlling their air and everything else, but we'll also give them interruptions of air. So at first we'll let them know we're turning your air off and they have to go to the sequence events. Check your mask, check your bypass, go to your cylinder valve. We have some props out here on our grounds where we're able to get them on a slant or on a pitched roof, and we can cut some of the holes that we would use for a tactical ventilation scenario in coordination with fire attack.
The most important thing though is that we are coordinating that with fire attack. We're not just putting a hole in the roof because we just put a hole in the roof. It's not how that goes. We coordinate with them. If they feel like they're ready and they feel like they've got control of that fire and they've got some water on that, then we can go in and we can release all that fuel, all that hot gas, everything that's coming out.
Along with some of the other ladder company operations would be Forcible Entry, and those include our conventional hand tools like our axes, our Halligans, and even to some of our gas-powered stuff. Several different commercial and residential doors that they can utilize their hand tools and their power tools to be able to affect access into a space if need be.
So now if we can see, we look in here, we might be able to see the mechanisms that are holding up. So we can put that forked end in there and have him beat on that back side. And it might even blast that locking mechanism out of the way or out of the jam. Or we bring the K-12 in now, we can cut. So it all depends. But we might be able to pop it. If we can see where it's hanging up, go ahead and attack that section.
We started our search and rescue lectures as well, getting into a space that's hot and with no visibility, working as a team to search a space for life and possible fire.
All right, now you come up to the window, announce yourself. Fire department, is anybody in here?
Fire department, is anyone in here? No one's in front of me. I'm gonna sound. Integrity my 4. Feels good. I'm gonna hook my tool. I'm gonna enter, sir. I'm searching, working my way around the walls. Stand low. I feel the door. Yes, sir. Closing door. I'm gonna search the hallway. Hello, is anyone there? feeling around in front of me, along the walls, whole room. I'm doing a full search, the whole closet. Come back out, close the door. I can feel my hook. Stay firm. Got my hook. At the window.
It's very intense week 1 and week 2 on purpose, because we don't want to waste anybody's time and we don't want them to waste our time. So the week 1, week 2 schedule and the long days and just the strenuous activity, both physically and mentally, is meant to be that way for a reason.
I mean, I know a lot of people think they're prepared when they come in, and they're not. But like I said before, if we can mentally prepare and we can mentally push past those times of, yes, my body hurts, I'm physically tired, sometimes we can just ignore that and move forward mentally.